morning out there. We're coming to you semi-live from a Zoom recording at the BCTV studios, and it's Senior Solutions Presents. Today we're going to present our initial monthly program. It will run approximately 30 minutes, so you won't take up your whole day. And I'd like to tell you we are the Council on Aging for Southeastern Vermont. Our official name is Senior Solutions. So when you hear that, you know that it's us. And I have with me today my co-host. My co-host is Jim Collins, and he is fairly new to the organization. He joined us a few months ago. He's already making a big impact. A really great guy, and he's part of our outreach team, and he's recently retired. He spent 38 years in education, so you better listen to him. Jim, you want to say hi and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, I came to Vermont in the 60s, and my first job was in Chester, Vermont, at the old Chester High School as a social studies teacher and an assistant coach in soccer and basketball. And then when we unionized in Chester, we formed Green Mountain Union High School, and I was hired by them as well and stayed in Chester and still in Chester as a resident, but as a teacher, coach, and dean of students and AD at Green Mountain Union High School for 38 years.
Wow.
And then I retired from the school district and went to another job, and it happened to be in education as well. And I became the assistant principal and later the principal of Mascoma Valley Regional High School in Canaan, New Hampshire for 15 years. So that's a long time, all right? And I retired this past June, and the summer was okay, but as soon as fall and winter popped in, I was very bored and started to look for a job part-time where I could work with, my goal is to support and help people. And so I found this job with Senior Solutions, and I really enjoy it. It started in February. I do outreach, and we can talk a little bit more of that later. One important factor that I have forgotten to explain about myself, I have a wonderful, wonderful family. I married my wife, Gladys, who was an educator as well. She is retired from early childhood education and is an active member of the SEFTA board. And we have 3 wonderful children who went to the schools in Chester, and they're all very successful. And we have 5 granddaughters, and they are a lot of fun to be with. It's tough during the COVID because the only way we can see them is through Zoom, Skype, or what have you. And it's hard to hug them across television, all right? But that's about it.
Well, I think that's quite a lot. That's terrific, and we are really lucky to have you, Jim. I know everybody who's worked with you so far has nothing but really good words to say about you. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that you care so much about people, and you bring a lot to the table, and a lot of wonderful ability and background in education to be able to communicate with the people we serve, who are the 60 and older crowd, and also people with disabilities. And I think you really know how to make them feel comfortable and to be able to give them the kind of information that they need so that we can help them access benefits. And not everybody can do that. So thank you. Welcome aboard. And I hope you have a long run on BCTV.
Well, I'm enjoying this, and I'm enjoying working with you.
Thank you. Same here. So let's get started.
Right.
I think before we do too much, we better give a little background about Senior Solutions. And one of those questions that a lot of people have, but they really don't ask, and that is, how are you funded? So I'll just take a real quick minute and say, our funding sources are mostly from the government. which is why we don't have to charge anybody anything for anything we do. We're getting about 62% of our money from the federal government, and we're getting 33% from the state government, and about, 6 to 8% we're getting from other sources, like the towns that fund us when they vote in March. That's a tremendous help, not so much because of the amount of the dollars, but because they understand what we do for their communities. And that's an important piece, because it's all about relationship. It's all about supporting each other. It's all about doing as much as we can to help the people who have managed to get older here in Vermont and do not have as many resources as maybe they used to when they were working. And they're getting, more issues to deal with as they age because of lack of mobility and other things, like, unfortunately, some of it is dementia related. Since Vermont is one of the top 3 oldest by population states in the Union, because of the age of our population, we do see a lot more of the dementia cases than maybe in other areas of the country. So, we have a lot of things to deal with, but boy, it can be a lot of fun to grow older in Vermont. And I want to make sure that, we try to include as many people in comfortable living, good financial situation. And part of what you're doing by reaching out and helping people through the National Council on Aging Benefits enrollment plan is helping them understand what's available. So right now, we are in a very special situation with the COVID-19, but we've been able to adapt some of the ways we serve people. And you're taking part on that. I know you're going to be calling different people, helping out with talking to our volunteers who are the backbone of the organization. I'm giving a lot of information now just so people know who we are, but our case managers work very diligently. They're still working. They're not going into homes so much. It's a case by case, and it's also change the way they do it. We're going to try to do a lot more virtual visiting, telephone visiting, and other things. But also, keeping in touch with people so they know they're not forgotten is so important. So Jim, what have you discovered? I know you've contacted, I think, all the town clerks in our county.
Yes. One of my first projects was to personally talk to the town clerks in Windsor and Windham County. And initially I did that by going to visit them. But when the COVID hit, that put a damper. But I still contacted them via phone. It was so amazing what the town clerks do. The neat thing about it, about 5 of the town clerks or treasurers were my ex-students.
I love that.
And that was amazing. And I taught social studies, so here they are taking a real civic job, not making a ton of money, but helping out their communities. And what I found is that our Vermont town clerks in those towns are supporting the residents in a very positive way, especially senior citizens and community senior centers, etc. It's been an amazing experience for me to see the support our seniors have, not just from Senior Solutions, but from other groups, like the CARES groups that I've contacted, and how they have stepped up to the plate, volunteered to help seniors get food, empty trash, do things like that. They're just people that are just in Vermont are givers, not
It's very inspiring to see how many, not just like you say, not just organizations, but grassroots, community care groups, all these other people just pitching in and doing anything they can to help their neighbors, help people get through this difficult time. It is so inspiring. I'm so pleased to be a part of the efforts, because it's not like Senior Solutions does everything. We don't. We want to help everybody that we can, and we try to help them access certain services and benefits. But if it wasn't for care groups, local groups, first responders, the hospitals, the Bayada and Brattleboro Hospice, all these groups are so integral to the network that supports aging gracefully and aging in a healthy way here in Vermont. It's wonderful to see. And I think the outreach that you have already done and are going to be doing is going to really help secure the connections between all of these activities. And I think it's great. I think maybe one of the things I should quickly do is go over some of the benefits we can help people access.
Right.
One of which right now is very important, and that's nutrition. I've already told people, but not on this show, that for Meals on Wheels during this COVID-19, all the restrictions and criteria are eliminated. All you have to be is 60 years old and call our helpline, 802-885-2669, and say you want to sign up for Meals on Wheels. And you can do it for 1 day a week or 5 days a week, whatever you like. The other thing is 3 Squares Vermont. If you're a current 3 Squares recipient, you will automatically now be receiving the full benefit amount, no matter where you started. They're making everybody the same. Everybody will be getting their full amount. So if you started at $50 a month because of an income or something, and the top of that criteria was $150, you'll be getting an automatic deposit for the difference, and forthcoming, you will be receiving the full benefit amount. And I think that's just wonderful. Other than that, we do have a million services, which we'll do in other shows, because we have a lot to talk about and not a lot of time today. So Jim, do you want to talk a little bit about the National Council on Aging's benefits program?
Well, they're going to be putting together a budget program.
Boost Your Budget.
Boost Your Budget program.
Cool.
In the real near future. It was initially scheduled for sometime in April, but everything has been moved. And the key to that program is to help seniors find money that they really are owed. All right? It's their money. They've contributed to our country from day one with taxes, Social Security they've contributed.
Yep.
So there are areas that many of our seniors don't realize that are available to them.
Yeah.
Now, and one is dealing with a Medicare savings program if you qualify. All right, and I'm not going to give all the details in that.
Yeah, you can tell me later. Maybe I'll sign up.
Yeah, but that is significant. As you know, when you take Part B, you end up paying anywhere from $129 to almost $200 a month for the Part B benefit. All right, okay. And so I found that out. Obviously, I didn't realize that when I started. I took my benefits at age 70 because you do get a little bit more money by postponing your. And so there is a Medicare savings program that many of our senior citizens are eligible and they don't realize it. So we can help them find more money. Can you use an extra $129 a month?
Yeah, who could?
Can you move? Can you have a prescription plan that you don't have to pay for? All right, or that co-payments are significantly lower, etc. Those are going to be available to our seniors. All right, so we'll be talking more specifically about that. But if you are interested, and many of the Medicare savings program, the state only looks at your income, not your savings for property. So some people don't even, some people don't even bother to take advantage of that because they say, oh, I have a savings program, so they're going to take that, or my house, or whatever. So that's an important feature of this plan. If you really want to look at further details, give our helpline a call and set up an appointment. 885-2669.
Great. Yeah, that's so important because any money that you either can save and not spend or extra benefits you can have come in is going to make a person's life so much easier. And it's really super important. And I know you're going to have a lot of tips for people, and you're great at explaining in plain English so we can all understand exactly how to do it and what's involved. And the other thing I want to remind people, we're starting our monthly Medicare boot camps, virtual boot camp. So there's one in May, but we're just about doing it now. Then there'll be one every month as we move towards October, which is open enrollment for Medicare. We also help people with Medicaid applications. So if you're heading, in that direction, give the helpline a call. They will talk to you and figure out what you need to do and how to do it. And if you are unable to fill it out yourself, then we will have a case manager or somebody to work with you, figure out what documents you have to have in your possession in order to fill out the paperwork, and then help you fill out the forms and track it so that we can ensure that you are accepted into the program. So there's so many ways we can help people. We have caregiver support grants, things like that. We also are re-implementing our home meds program. So now if you're interested, this is good, right?
That's
Jim, do you have
program.
any medications that you used to take in your medicine cabinet?
Well, the important thing is that we have people that will help them look at all their prescriptions and decide, are some of these outdated? Are some of these more harmful than you shouldn't be taking? So it's a very good free kind of evaluation of your current prescriptions done by pharmacists and doctors.
And this is important because a lot of people, as we get older, you might get dizzy or you maybe start to fall a lot. Not necessarily because you have an organic problem in your body, except that you may be taking an accumulation of prescription medications, over-the-counter medications, herbal remedies, vitamins, you name it. And some of these don't interact in a positive way.
Not at all, no.
Right? And we go to different doctors and, so people can lose track. So this is a free program. You don't even have to be one of our clients. Just call the helpline, 802-885-2669, and say you'd like to have an appointment to have a home meds assessment. We'll give you the instructions and have our nurse case manager will call you back and set up an appointment if she has to do it virtually. So we'll make sure that you have a device that you can use to do it virtually on a computer with us, or when she's able, she will come in person to you and take a look at everything, scan it, put it through our program, and then it's verified by a geriatric pharmacist. The results will go to your primary care physician. Then you and your physician decide. You're going to not take something. You're going to get a substitute for that medication so that it doesn't interact badly. But whatever you do, it is certainly beneficial. And this program has literally saved lives. So it doesn't cost you anything. Give us a call.
Yes, and give us a call if you have a transportation issue, for example. Yeah. I can't get there. I can't do this. I know that our local market in Chester, Leasi's market, which has now been sold, I understand, but they've been very helpful for our seniors. We can call in to give an order, they'll fulfill the order, and volunteers will help deliver the food. So, don't be shy about that. If you need some help with transportation, or if you feel that a friend of yours is involved with some self-neglect.
That's
Can't, can't take care of themselves, can't take care of their home. And it's, give us a call.
That's right. 'Cause we don't know. We can't figure out who has a problem, and we cannot drive up your driveway, knock on your door, and go, "Are you okay?
Right.
Can we help?" We need you or a close relative, somebody to call us and let us know that you want some help. We'll figure it out. You just give us the call. You push it on to us, and we will carefully evaluate your situation, and we will find the best solutions for you that are available. And I can't, verify what Jim is saying more, because it's so important that you just call us for anything. Just let us decide if it's something that we can do or someplace we could send you for solution or whatever the issue. Let us take care of it. This is not for you to worry about. It's for us to take care of you. And that's a big message.
Right. And I'm finding out just, my connection with a lot of the town clerks. I've had town clerks call me and say, "Jim, would you mind giving this person a call?" And find out they seem sad. They seem lonely. Something's wrong. And so it's important to establish that line so that we can contact that person. Set up a volunteer that will communicate with them several times a week or what have you. Some people are just lonely right now.
And especially now.
Right.
And we have several wonderful visitor programs that have now morphed for the time being into, like you say, so we have tons of volunteers right now, and they just want to help. If you need something, call. If you need a visitor who can't really visit you right now, some can, depending on the situation, but they definitely will connect with you. They'll call you. We have phone visitors. We have visitors who are now doing the pickup and deliveries for their friend that they have, the participant. And we have friendly visitors. We have a wonderful vet-to-vet visitor program. And all of these volunteers just want to help. So they just want to help. And when they have, some of them who've been doing it for a year have gotten to be really good friends with the people that they visit with. So they continue checking on them constantly, making sure they know that they still have a buddy. And, nobody should feel alone. Especially now, it's very difficult. Being alone normally can lead to, depression and anxiety and other things, like you mentioned, self-neglect. I think that just receiving a phone call from somebody, especially someone you know, is so important for people's health. Remember, they did that study last year? If you don't have a friend to talk to, it impacts on your health, just like smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Right.
Which, that is not exactly beneficial. So guys out there, what's our helpline number?
Our helpline number is...
Go, Jim.
802-885-2669.
Right.
Give us a call.
So who are you going to call, right? You're going to call our helpline. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
So we still have a little bit of time here, which I'm amazed, but it's wonderful because I'd like to give a shout out to all of the senior centers, especially the ones, right? We have the Bugby, the Thompson, the Black River in Ludlow. We have the Springfield. We have the Bellows Falls, and we have the Brattleboro senior centers, all in our district.
Right.
And I know they've been having a hard time because they haven't been able to let people come in and congregate. So they're having a tough time, but boy, they have not stopped working.
No, they have not stopped. I miss visiting them because I always go around lunchtime.
Smart man.
They have a great lunch, all of them. So that is tough on them right now.
It is. And all the congregate meal sites are now just doing, pickup and deliveries.
Right.
So we have to remember, too, that those Meals on Wheels drivers, while they can't, talk to people face to face now, like they always were good check-in people to make sure people are okay. But they still, when they let them know they're coming, leave the food at the door and wait in the vehicle to make sure that the person opens the door and brings in the meal.
Right.
Because putting food at the door and letting it sit there for 2 days because the person fainted is not helping.
Right.
So they do the best they can. They're still working. And I know that from the Thompson Center, when this first started, they even had 3 police officers picking up the food from where they prepared it at the center and delivering it to the recipients. I mean, people are doing it all over. Groups are just pitching in, and I mean, we probably, if we let everybody cook at home and deliver, we would have more food than we would know what to do with.
Absolutely.
So I will say that I believe the Brattleboro Farmers Market just reopened. However, that's a judgment call. I'm not encouraging people to go anywhere right now. But when you're able or when you feel safe. And if you do go anywhere, what are you going to wear? Jim, what do you wear if you go someplace?
A mask. I have a beautiful mask that my next door neighbor made.
Excellent. Excellent. Yep, me too. And I think it's important for all of us to be respectful in that. I wore a mask yesterday. I had a meeting. But other than that, I seriously haven't really left my house.
Right.
So I've been alone. But even when I go out, I had to give the mailman something. So he was about 12 feet away. I had my mask on, and I kind of showed him what I was doing. So you have to be creative in a lot of ways. But I want everyone to take care of themselves and take care of their friends and their families.
And another thing that when people are watching this, if they have some suggestions of some of the people that we should have as guests, whether it would be a case manager in our own organization, whether it would be an emergency responder or whatever, if you have any suggestions, give the number a call, 802, all right, 885-2669.
I think that's great because we've started a pretty expansive list, but it's more important to hear from our public what they want to hear than for us to imagine what people want to hear. I mean, we have some pretty good ideas, but you're right. I'd love to hear from the public. This is a two-way conversation.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's very, very important. I'm trying to think, what else can we tell people today without running over? Well, good. We still have a few minutes. Okay. We also have a website, which I don't know if many of you out there know the website. And of course, www.seniorsolutionsvt.org. If you go there, we have an enormous amount of information, maybe a little overwhelming, but you can go through the outline, find out what's new. You can read my weekly columns. You can find out all the different resources that are available. You can just go have some fun with it. Just go in and investigate. See what's up.
Give you something to do.
And we do have one more announcement. I don't know how many of you out there know it. May is Older Americans Month. So we would like to encourage everybody to celebrate. There's not a whole lot you can do, but the theme for 2020 has been Make Your Mark. And I think one of the best ways you can make your mark is by doing something good for somebody.
That's right. And many of our seniors are volunteers. They have been amazing.
They're incredible.
Yeah.
They really impress me. And I have a good time. A few times I've been included in some of the events that we would do for the volunteers throughout the year. I can't tell you how much fun I had with them. I mean, they're just wonderful people. And
well, I remember you took me to Brattleboro Community Center.
Okay, yep.
And we had 20 seniors sitting in a circle. I thought I was in my old classroom, but they were a lot older. All right. And it was an amazing conversation, give and take, about what they're experiencing, how they're helping each other. It was so positive.
Well, so many people who are aging, there's the same people they were when they were younger. They still have interests. They still have terrific information and history and experiences to share. And in fact, we're starting a Memories Cafe. So when we get that promoted,
Oh,
and people
wow.
are able to get together again, we're going to be pushing that a little because, boy, people love to share their experiences. Some people are a little reticent, but once you get them talking, you find out how interesting they are.
Yes, yes.
Unbelievable.
Very,
The people resources that we have here in Vermont is outstanding.
right. No question about it.
Honest to goodness. I mean, I learned this at an early age when I was a librarian, town librarian here in Vermont. We had a lot of patrons, a lot of the older population came in. And I loved talking to them because as we age, we get so much information packed inside our heads, and being able to share it with people gives them joy, and it gives us tremendous insight into the world.
And people become wiser as they age.
Well, in my case, maybe sillier, but
I would agree with that.
so, but you know what? That's fun too.
That is fun.
So I just like to share lots of ideas as we go through our monthly shows. We'll try to update people, what's coming, what's new, and share with them all the various resources that we want to help them have access to. So looking to see if I still have lots of notes, but that's all right. We'll take our time and we'll try to spend some programs focused on maybe one or two items. But I think today was just great getting to know you, getting to know us. And hopefully if you contact us and let us know what you want to hear about, we'll get to know you. And the rest is just going to be a wonderful ride.
Right.